today's movie review, I'll be reviewing the 2009 experimental comedy horror romance film Low. And other than the fact that the film premiered at the Austin Film Festival of October 2009, not much is really known about this film. Hell, I never even heard of the film till recently, so is the film any good? In terms of what Low is about, it's about this man named Justin who falls in love with this woman named April, and at one point she gets kidnapped by a demon. She leaves behind this ancient book, and so Justin decides to use the book to summon this demon named Low, and essentially Justin orders Low around to help him rescue his girlfriend from the fiery pits of hell. In terms of what I liked about the movie has really good lighting, the soundtrack's really good, the movie has good editing as well, and the movie is visually interesting, because the whole setup to this movie is the main character is sitting cross-legged on the floor in a pentagram he painted, while the rest of his apartment is just in shadows. Now, on pen and paper, you don't think this would make for a very interesting movie, but the way it's executed, it's handled really well, because, again, he's just sitting on the floor, but there's so much shit going on around him that I was really interested in seeing where this was going. How was this gonna end? And I like the way the movie presents its flashbacks, because instead of having the character think back to the flashback, we see both the main character and the demon he summons watching the flashback, which is presented as this cheap stage play. Even the commentary to the flashbacks are actually pretty clever as well, since, you have the main character who's just like, are you sure this is how it went down? Because I don't remember that part or that part. And the demon goes, son, you lived this flashback, so you might remember things differently. And the movie has a really good sense of humor, because going back to the flashback bit, the main character thinks, oh, his flashback in certain points might have been manipulated by the demon, and the demon goes, son, if I manipulated your flashback, it would have gone something more like this, and presents a really over-exaggerated funny scene. And the makeup and the costuming to the demons, I think, is just fantastic. It just goes to show that if there's something physically in front of the camera, it just looks a lot better than something that's computer generated. In terms of what I dislike about the movie, really there are only like 3 things that I disliked about this movie, so in some sense these are just minor nitpicks. The first thing that I didn't like about the movie was the way it began. I thought the beginning of this movie was just a bit too slow-paced. Granted, it does establish the overall tone and atmosphere of the movie, which I don't mind, but again, it was just a bit slow-paced. The second thing I didn't like about the movie was the random musical number. Because throughout the whole movie, you have the main character interacting with different demons, and one of them decides to do a musical number. Granted, the musical number in question does provide a lot of important information that's relevant to the story, but it's the only musical number throughout the whole movie. Hell, even one of the main characters was just like, that was really random, and we don't need another musical number. And the third and final thing I disliked about this movie were the rat demons. What were the point of these creatures? Because at least with the other demons that come and interact with the main character, they at least contributed something to the overall story. The rat demon, on the other hand, does absolutely nothing. Like, I could have done without that character altogether. For my final verdict of Low, I think this movie's just fantastic. From the script writing, the acting, down to the production values. And in some regards, I think this movie's really underrated. Like, why don't more people know about this one? Now, granted, I don't think everybody will enjoy this movie in terms of the way it's structured, but I highly recommend this movie. And before I give my final rating, what did everybody else say about Low? Looks like Low got a lot of good reviews, and so for my final rating of Low, I give it a 4 out of 5. So, what is your favorite horror comedy, and see you later.